Hey there, Monica Grace from Card Reading Queen. Today we're going to go through the week 4 cosmic energies for April 21st through April 27th. So as you guys know how this works, or if you're new to the channel, maybe you don't, basically every month I put out an energy report of the cosmic energies. And so these just look at the planetary movements and how they affect the twin soul romance and ascension journey. So this is the April 2019 report. It's about 30 pages, and if you want to grab this, it's at cardreadingqueen.com/energies. It's completely free as well, so feel free to grab it. All you have to do is give us your email address, and then we will send you this report. So we're on the week 4 section of this last week of April, or at least the last full week of April, I should say. So it's April 21st through April 27th, and we will be going through the energies that are happening this week. The only other announcement I have is that if you see a spread in any of my videos that you want to learn or you want to know the meanings of, you can get my spreads in printable form. So it's something that you can print out. You can either use it in your journal or your grimoire, or you can also just use it as a reference. But you can get all of those at cardreadingqueen.com/freebies. So again, what you'll do is you'll go there, you can sign up for the email list, and then we will send you those free printables. And they look really great. You can definitely journal right on the printable page as you print it out. So definitely grab those if you're interested. So I think those are all the announcements. We have a couple really interesting planetary movements this week that we're going to be going through, so let's just get right into. I'm going to clear this space and set this aside. We are going to pull some overall energies for the union, and just set these aside. And we will be using the Energy Oracle. This is by Sandra Ann Taylor. It's a very popular, I believe it's a Hay House deck. Let me see. Yeah, it's a popular, I'm not sure. I think it's a Hay House deck, but anyway, you can Google this if you want it. We'll be using this, and we're gonna use the Infinity spread to find the energies. This is one of my favorite spreads. Again, if you want to grab that, cardreadingqueen.com/freebies, and you can get a printable of the spread. But basically, it's a really specially designed twin soul spread that goes through the blocks, or a block that the twin souls are facing, and also shows them how they're each mirroring each other in it. So it's super valuable. All right, so let's grab this for the week. And this week the energies are pretty calm, actually. So there are a couple retrogrades. For those of you who are familiar with Mercury retrograde, there's nothing to really fear regarding that. These retrogrades are, so we'll talk more about them, but they're not going to have as strong of an effect. But yeah, we'll see a couple retrogrades, and then we also have a split in this twin soul wave. So if this reading is resonating with you, that means you're part of this specific twin soul wave that I am reading for. So, however, this month, because there were such strong union energies coming through, there was actually a split in this, and so there's a small contingent of you that have kind of split off. Nothing to worry about. You will be brought back into the wave. You're still in this wave, but for whatever reason you split off, and that's one of the things we're going to be talking about in the reading as well. All right, so let's just grab the overall energies. So I do not read reverse. I want to make sure that this is upright. Okay, so the first thing, this is really interesting for this week. So the first card is community. And so what this is, typically this is a very 3 of Cups energy. You can see a similar image if you're familiar with tarot, how they typically have three women, you know, drinking, lounging together, partying together, as the Three of Cups. So this is a very similar image and very similar energy. What's going on in the union this week, and this again is verified by the cosmic energies, is that things are slowing down, and the two divine counterparts are actually focusing outside of the union right now. And that is nothing to worry about. So a lot of people think like, oh, like we're not together, or we're not in union. It's actually nothing to worry about. The reason that focus is happening is because the two counterparts are feeling more secure in the union than ever. So the union, last week we had union energies through the full moon. That has taken us much deeper into union. And because of that, now we're able to direct our attention to other things. While originally it was focused much more on the union. And there was a lot of energy focused on the union. There were a lot of thoughts focused on the union, and actions as well. So now that's kind of played itself out for most of you, and we're going to talk about those of you who that hasn't played itself out for. But now we're moving into focus outside of us, and this is specifically around relationships, relationships that are not romantic, or relationships that are outside. So meeting up with friends, meeting up with family. We just got through, of course, a big holiday for many people, Easter, and Passover as well. So there have been some opportunities to meet up with family if you celebrate some of these holidays. And there's, definitely just an energy of socializing outside the union. So we'll look at this. This is how it's focused for the divine feminine, and then let's pull the divine masculine. Okay, interesting. All right, so for the divine feminine, we have angel of strength. So what this means, this is just about the divine feminine feels very strong. She feels very strong, very committed, very confident, very secure in this new phase of her union. So she's able to just, she's able to take her focus off of the union because she feels secure in it, which is amazing. So she's able to focus on other parts of her life. And those parts, of course, she's able to do that knowing that those parts, of course, are going to help her union in the future. So very good, very straightforward. Move this out of the way. All right, so the divine masculine has an interesting card, walking away. And I don't think that this means walking away from the union at all. What this actually means to me, and what I've been seeing and channeling, is that this is about karmic relationships and situations. So the divine masculine, they are dealing with this in a very different way. So they are spending time in their outside relationships from the union, but specifically those are these other situations that they need to wrap up. So these are things that have come from tower moments. So this could be a co-parenting situation, it could be a divorce, it could be a breakup, it could be a job loss, it could be a move. So it could be a number of different things over here. And this is a very good thing for the union. What it means is that the divine masculine is working on wrapping up a lot of just basically loose ends, and truly walking away, possibly because he's seen a lot of movement from the divine feminine. So that is really interesting and very good news for both counterparts in the union. All right, so let's just pull. So these are just some clarifiers to just go deeper into the situation. All right. So, okay, good. So this is really good. So these cards are pretty much just verifying what I just said. So on the Divine Feminine side, we have the Angel of Strength, and what this is showing is that she is, ready to accept her abundance, basically. So this is the cornucopia. It's also the number 11, which, many people look at as like a divine counterpart number or a divine partnership number. This is all just about abundance. She's got her seedlings planted, and if you've been following along, you know what that means. Basically, it's just manifestations that were in the 5D just a few months ago. Now those are popping up in the 3D as seedlings. This 5th chakra, Archangel Gabriel, this is about specifically the throat chakra and communication. And so what I'm getting from this is that she feels more secure in this union, and because of that, she's able to step even more into herself. So this recent security in this union, in whatever form that came, whether it was just acknowledgement, love, even a declaration of love, a declaration of friendship, communication, unblocking or unghosting, any of that. This has come to fruition, and so she feels much more secure, and she's able to speak her mind much more. And she's feeling like not only can she better communicate to her twin, she's maybe communicating to other people in her life, possibly setting boundaries, possibly sharing her dreams with other people outside of the union. So this is all coming to fruition, and this is all very beautiful and very positive energy. On the Divine Masculine side, we have hostilities. So what's happening here is, look at this man. He's ready to face these hostilities. So what's happening for the Divine Masculine is he's been dealing with either a karmic relationship or karmic situation where he has had to fight for himself. And for many months, many weeks, years, whatever the timeline, he has been afraid to confront these hostilities, just because he didn't want to have to deal with it. He wanted to be able to get like a clean break from this karmic situation or this karmic relationship, but he wasn't able to. It's actually, there's quite a bit of conflict there, and so now he's ready to face those head on, and that's what he's doing right now. Additionally, we have this card, Door to Value, and the great thing about this card is that a lot of the reason that the Divine Masculine got into these karmic situations or karmic relationships in the first place is due to lack of self-esteem. And so now he's starting to see his self-esteem, he's starting to see his value, and he's not accepting that anymore. And so that's how he was able to break free from these situations. And when I say break free, I really just mean the initial breaking free. So this was like the initial breakup, the initial separation, the initial quitting of a job, the initial stepping out onto his own, the initial desire to move or application to put in an apartment or to put in on an apartment. That sort of thing. So he had already taken the first steps to get away from these situations, but now he's having to really bolster his self-esteem and self-worth even more, face these hostilities with full clarity and fully head on in that Emperor energy, and he's doing that right now. So that's great. That's beautiful. All right, and now the last thing we're going to do for this spread, and you can see it forms just this beautiful image of an infinity sign, and it also has the mirroring. So we are going to pull the guidance for each counterpart. All right, on the Divine Feminine side, we have a number, so we have a couple interesting cards. The second chakra, Archangel Ariel. So this is all about creativity. The second chakra is the womb, the womb chakra. And I don't know if that's the official name, that's just how I think of it. But this is, for the Divine Feminine, this is where we birth things. This is true Empress energy, truthfully. And often, if you look at tarot, often the Archangel Ariel is the one who represents the Empress because it's very similar energies. So, this is all about manifestation and creating that abundance. This abundance is already here for the Divine Feminine, and this is about her really creating even more. And you see this card, it has all these different doors, adjacent possibilities. So she's looking at, well, I've created this now, what else can I create? Like, what else do I want to seed for the next cycle? And she's going through a period actually of, what am I creating? What do I want in life? Like, let's now that we're starting to see these seedlings pop up, let's go back and re-examine. Let's go back and reevaluate. And that's very common after a full moon to be in that energy of, I've seen the change. Let's step back. Let's reevaluate. What do I want? What do I want to create? What do I want to seed for the future? So this is good. This is another, again, all of this is about why these two counterparts are really going off on their own. Just for, not that they're not together or not that they're not in communication, but why they're each kind of focused energetically in other places besides a union right now. This is what the Divine Feminine is doing right now. She's looking at, wow, like, I can create anything. I'm a magical being. What do I want to create? All right. So on the Divine Masculine side, we have the third chakra, Archangel Chamuel. The third chakra is the solar plexus. And this makes a ton of sense. The solar plexus is where we store a lot of anxiety. And this is, there's a number of things that go with the solar plexus. But in this case, it's related to the anxiety of having to deal with these hostilities. And it's basically like tension in the stomach. So when you have something stressful coming up, and like a big test that you're studying for, or a big conversation that you have to have with someone, that's what's happening, is that tension unknowingly builds in your stomach. And it can start to affect your digestion, and it can just start to cause problems within your body. And so this is showing, look, I'm reclaiming my solar plexus. I'm reclaiming my third chakra by clearing out all these hostilities. We also have the world. The world, he just wants to get this done. He wants this cycle of this karmic cycle to be done. He sees his future. This is what he wants in the future, but he's still got some lingering stuff going on over here, and he just wants to be done. And so the guidance is clear it up, get it done, complete. This is the energy of the world, is to come to completion. So this is one of the major arcana in tarot. All right, so beautiful. So this is what's going on in the overall energies. Now we're going to move into what specifically is going on this week in the cosmic energies. All right, so I've cleared my workspace. So the first set of energies we're going to talk about is the Sun moving conjunct with Uranus. And this is happening April 22nd through 23rd, which is Monday and Tuesday of this week. So what's happening, this is a very specific reading. So for those of you who have not seen any offer from your Divine Masculine, and assuming you're the Divine Feminine in this relationship, so we've been discussing that that the Divine Masculine is going to come forward, that his offer is going to shift the union into a new cycle. And for many of the twin souls in this wave, that has happened. For some, that has not happened. So there are a couple things before you assume that you are part of this group that it did not happen in. One is that it's possible that the Divine Masculine did make an offer and you didn't notice it. It felt like more of the same. So I would double check with that. So that could be, if you hadn't communicated in a while, did they message you? And not even necessarily did they message you unprompted. It's not that. But did they message you? Like, did you open the door to them? Did they message you back? That could be an example of them making that offer. It could be that they had a conversation with you that they had been putting off. It could be that they, took action on something that they have been waiting to take action on for however long. But just make sure that that you did not receive the offer and you couldn't tell. Because you may have received the offer. The offer, it's expected to look as small or as big based on your current relationship. So it's going to be in kind to your current relationship. For example, if you were blocked by your Divine Masculine, maybe the only change is that he unblocked you. Maybe it wasn't that he unblocked you and communicated with you. Maybe he just unblocked you. But like you're still not friends on Facebook, or he hasn't followed you, or whatever it is. That could still be an offer. So one of the things that I've been reading for this is that the offer may not be the full thing that you want. So you may have said, I want him to unblock me and refriend me and message me, and then we're going to have a conversation. And so it may be that he only unblocked you. So he only did, 20 to 25% of it. But that's still an offer. That's still an open door. And it could be a call for you to take action. So if he unblocked you, maybe it's a call for you to try to add him as a friend. You have to trust your own inner guidance with that. So that's what's going on. Now for some people, some divine feminines, you truly have not gotten this offer. And so what's going on is that there's this straggling contingent. So I'm calling it the turtle contingent because, just because the turtle is a very slow moving character. So I'm calling it the turtle contingent. And what it is, it's basically this idea that for whatever reason, the Divine Masculine had guidance to take this action and to make this offer, and he didn't do it. And so now what's going to happen, as what always happens in these scenarios, is because the divine counterpart did not take action on their guidance, now they are going to be moved forward by the universe or by God through a situation. So they have to, because they didn't take action on the guidance, they will have an experience that forces them to take action, because the energy has to move forward. That's just how it is. And the universe has given these struggling divine masculines plenty of time to take action on this. And so now the universe is going to give them a gentle push. So we are going to get into that. Going to start with the Spirit Messages deck. And I have a couple questions regarding this. We will move this out of the way. Alright. Let's get a good shuffle. So if you're interested in this contingent, I do highly recommend getting the energy report, because it's at cardreadingqueen.com/energies. But I talk about the different ways in which this forward movement happens, and it's really fascinating. Definitely worth exploring if this is happening to you. And the way I talk about it is, of course, in terms of tarot. I talk about how it's going to be one of these three energies, the Fool, the Hanged Man, or the Tower energy. And so what you can do is you can watch the Divine Masculine and you can see which of those he's encountering right now, if you are part of this contingent. So the first question is, why? I wanted to know, why is this happening? Why are some of the Divine Masculine struggling to move forward? So let's get some clarity around that. All right. Okay. So the first card, vulnerability. Confirmation that you're seeking to tread into the unknown, unfamiliar territory, where decisions are based more on intuition than rationality. Don't let fear hold you back or allow a misguided sense that feeling vulnerable is somehow a negative condition. So this is something that I talk about in the report as well. What's happening is, for these Divine Masculines, they are so accustomed to focusing on the logical side of things. They only do things from a logical place. And that has served them very well over the past. So they are seeing these signs and synchronicities from the universe, but it's making them feel too vulnerable. They feel like what they want to do and the action that's being asked to take, that they're being asked to take, is way too vulnerable for them. So they are really trying to find the logical excuse, effectively, to not take that action, even though they are fully prepared energetically to take this action, and they can deal with the fallout, whatever it may be, however the chips fall, to take that action. However, they just still have those fears, and they're using that logical, rational side of themselves to keep from taking that action. The second card, Hello from Heaven. Your loved ones in the spirit world want to connect with you as much as you want to connect with them. They know you've been thinking about them. They're sending you signs and symbols to show you how much they love you and to prove they're with you at this time. This could be for a very specific Divine Masculine, but it also may not be. So what this is they are starting to see these signs from loved ones who have passed away, possibly. And because of that, it's really freaking them out, first of all, because, again, they're in this logical, rational mindset, and they're like, this can't be real. So they're looking for the logical explanation of this, but they're seeing it. They're seeing these signs, and they're seeing the power of this intuition, the power of this connection. So a big part of this is that they don't really believe in the supernatural, but they're starting to have to, because they're starting to see it in the real world. We also have synchronicity. So not surprising. Are you noticing the signs of synchronicity that the spirit world has been sending you? People and situations in your life are not just appearing by coincidence. In reality, they're being guided to you from the spirit world to help you for a specific reason. Again, I mean, they're all going together. This is about them ignoring. They've ignored those signs and synchronicities. And they're looking, you can see, like, she's, this woman, she has cogs just all over her face and all over her mind, because she is trying to logic her way through these signs and synchronicity. She's trying to sort it out in a very logical fashion, and getting very stuck in her head on this, and not wanting to believe it, wanting to believe, okay, this is a coincidence, and not realizing, hey, this is guiding you. And your intuition, so I think for this card especially as well, your intuition is not a bad thing. So these Divine Masculines, specific to this turtle contingent, are learning that logic is not always the answer, and logic is not always going to provide the answers. We also have this New Beginnings card. Everything in life is constantly vibrating and moving, and therefore continuously changing and evolving. Be aware that a new beginning is on the horizon. Have courage and faith, because right now life is trying to nudge you forward and move you in a new direction. I mean, this is the most perfect card. This is what I've been saying. Like, this is, these divine masculines are truly just being, at this point, they're being not just nudged, kind of like smacked to move forward. And this is what's happening. I think they're very reluctant to accept this. I see this, kind of like a Polaroid image or like a box, a photo, in their hand, and I think they're still reminiscing about the past a bit, and they're just not. They are resistant to this. They don't want to move forward, even though they feel that movement forward. They can intuit it, but they do not actually want to have to move forward, and they don't feel ready to take any active steps towards that. All right. So the next question I'm going to ask is, I'm going to do the Romance Angels. Romance Angels deck. Actually, okay. I'm going to do this for the last question. So I'm going to set these aside. I'm actually going to use this deck again. I'll give it another shuffle. So this next question is, when can the Divine Feminine expect to see the movement on this for this turtle contingent? All right. Yeah. Huh. Okay. Yeah. So this is this first part embrace this moment. What they're saying is, don't look too far ahead on this, because the energy is moving through. If you're watching this video, that's confirmation that the energy is moving through. This says, think positively today, repel those negative thoughts, try not to judge yourself or others. What is actually happening is that you're changing your energy. So there's another message in here that I'm getting, which is that the Divine Masculine is stuck in this logic, but so is the Divine Feminine. So that's what's attracting this to some extent, is the Divine Feminine is also a bit trapped in that logic. And she is, this is really interesting. So something I just noticed is this is a woman, but this is not her arm or her hand. This is a masculine hand that's being held in front of her eye. But so what this is saying, though, I think is, what you can do in the meantime, or what you can focus on, is looking at your own obsession with the logical side, and looking inward and saying, well, what does my intuition tell me about this? This is saying, stay positive, hold those positive vibes, look to now, don't look to the future, focus on yourself, focus on shifting your own energy around logic, and focus on shifting your own energy into intuition. When you're able to do that, it will naturally help your Divine Masculine shift into intuition as well. We also have stand your ground. It's empowering, confidence building action. Now is the moment when you need to stand your ground. Know you can do it. Know that by doing so you will be the victor. So they're telling you, don't get obsessed with not seeing this movement from the Divine Masculine. Don't get obsessed with that, and continue to hold space for it. Continue to wait for it. And you're not waiting for it, but continue to believe that it's coming to you, because that's what you want. And the way to manifest is by allowing and accepting. So continue to believe in this. Don't get in your head and be like, okay, I gotta reach out, I gotta reconnect, I gotta prompt. Don't get in your head with that, unless you're called to do that. But What it's saying is that this is about shifting your energy to the trust that this divine masculine is going to work through these logic blocks. We also have give back, cast aside normal routines, and make your main purpose to serve. It is about giving back without any thoughts or expectations of getting anything in return. I think this is about clearing your energy around any past challenges you've had, like, you know, especially if you've been trying to connect and you're not really getting anything back from the divine masculine. This is about continuing to hold that space for them and continuing to hold that love for them, even though they're not doing what you want them to do. We also have cleanse. Your body, mind, and soul are urging you to take time out. Clean the home, tidy your office, wash your car, give your body care and attention. It's time for some spiritual, emotional, and physical cleansing. What I'm getting from all of this, in relation to the original question, which was when can the feminine see these changes in the 3D? Really it's saying when you shift your energy, you'll see the changes. So I wasn't expecting to see that, but it sounds like for this turtle contingent, there's still a bit of work to do on the divine feminine side. And specifically, you know, this cleansing piece. So this is a lot like spring cleaning, self-care, continuing to hold space when that space is not being occupied or not being reciprocated, whatever it may be. Stand your ground, trust your intuition, believe in what you believe in, have faith in the connection. And then look at how your own energy is shifting. It says embrace the moment. Try not to judge yourself. Stay positive in every moment. Repel those negative thoughts. So this is what you can do. The next question I was going to ask is, what should the DF do in the meantime while the divine masculine is doing all of this? And I was going to pull some cards on that, but I think that this is the answer. I think this is what the divine feminine is supposed to do, which is interesting. So we'll use this romance deck for another section, hopefully. But yeah, I think this section's complete. The second thing that's happening this week, we have on Wednesday, April 24th, 2 retrogrades. Pluto moves into retrograde in Capricorn until October 3rd. And then we have another retrograde, Uranus, going into retrograde in Taurus until August 11th. So I want to say very quickly that these retrogrades, there's nothing to fear. I know a number of us we don't particularly like retrogrades because of Mercury retrograde, which comes around regularly. But in this case, both Uranus and Pluto are more of generational planets in that they don't move around that often. So to have these retrogrades is interesting, and it does change some energies, but typically they don't heavily affect us the same way something like Mercury would. Just wanted to give you some background on that. So this is all about, these 2 retrogrades are all about the seedlings having taken root, but don't sit and watch them. And what's happening is you're becoming the gardener of your union. And if you have ever been a gardener, you know that it's very time sensitive in what you can do. So you end up getting blocked in terms of nurturing seedlings. So you'll see the seedling come up. Maybe you need to water it that day. Maybe you need to put it in the sunlight, whatever it is. But those are very finite tasks. And so you actually can't garden for, you can't garden a single seedling for, more than a couple minutes every day. And so that's what this phase of the union is all about. It's that these seedlings have taken root, but you can't actually do a ton to garden them right now. They need consistency, but they don't need a lot of time every day. So let's get into this. We have this Wisdom of the Hidden Realms deck. that we're going to use for this. And a couple questions here. I want to know more about this energy of gardening the union. How does this actually look more practically? Because the analogy is good and the cosmic energies are, you know, there and correct, but what does this actually look like for the union? I know for some of you, it can really look like a standstill, because it's just like, well, there's not much happening. And I want to reassure you if that's what's happening for you. All right, so let's pull some cards on this. Okay, the first card we got was Sister of the Seasons. Cycles of growth, natural law, divine order. Yep. Yeah, all these cards are basically just confirming this. Okay, so we'll start with this first one, Sisters of the Seasons. So this is basically just what I said. Like, I there's not much of a message beyond this. This is just confirmation of what I just said. You're just in a specific cycle right now, and it's a good cycle. It's a very positive cycle, but it's a cycle of growth, and this cycle of growth is about letting that seedling grow on its own in many cases. So remember that the seedling, it takes, you know, quite a bit more effort to get it to sprout above the ground than it does to keep it going. So that's what's happened. You've expended a ton of energy to sprout this union from the ground and to see these seedlings. And now the union is very calm. The union is secure. The love is there. You can see the love. You're calm. You have no stress and anxiety about this. You have no confusion and conflicting feelings about this. And that, unfortunately, that looks like not a lot of activity. So maybe if you were hoping for activity, this can be quite painful, actually. But, you know, just know that this is a cycle of growth. It's not one that you can pass through. You can't skip to the end and start harvesting the seeds or start harvesting the fruit of this. You've got to go through this, you know, this incubation period where this seedling is growing into a plant. We also have the Camel Boy. Small steps, asking for help. I'm really drawn to this 33. I've personally been seeing a lot of 333, and I think what that is, I think this is about what the twin soul journey is truly about. And I talk about this a bit on my blog, but for my understanding of this twin soul journey, it is about two counterparts who are each growing closer to God, and in doing so are growing closer to each other. So that's what that Trinity is. And I think that is part of this phase of part of the cycle of growth is really trusting that as you grow closer to God, you are growing closer to your twin. You know, small steps, asking for help. I mean, I think this is just, you know, this is a Knight of Pentacles energy. This is about plodding along. We also have the Map Maker of Destiny, authentic purpose, inspiration, and free will. Yeah, I'm not. So, I mean, I think the obvious answer to, or the obvious message from this is, I mean, it's really just that things are happening according to plan. You know, as twin souls, you have planned this out ahead of time. You planned it out ahead of time, and there's actually another. So there's that, but there's actually another message coming through, and I was gonna say that earlier because I was sensing that, but I didn't know what the message was yet, and now I think I do. What this is saying is that you do have this map of how you guys wanted things to play out. What this is also saying, though, is that you guys can rewrite this as you go. it says, because the keywords are authentic purpose, inspiration, and free will. So this means you can veer off the map if you want. You can also redraw the lines of this map, and you can do that in real time. So you can do that as you go right now. And yeah, I think I'm gonna draw a little bit more about that because that is interesting. The last card is the Web Weaver. Synchronicity, divine intelligence, cause and effect. This is just, this is really about divine timing and trusting that divine timing. However, I'm actually getting, again, another message of this Web Weaver, kind of going into this Mapmaker of Destiny card. And what I'm getting from this is that you can take anything that you desire, anything that's popping into your heart right now as a desire, and you decide, okay, I truly desire this and I'm going to align to it. You can actually weave that into your union right now. So there's an opening right here. I think I'm gonna take, no, I don't want these. I think I'm just gonna draw some more cards from this one. Here we go. Just one card for clarification. All right, so we have the Swan Queen. And what I want to clarify is, how are, because I feel like these are two conflicting ideas. One is that it's all been pre-planned, and all been written for you, and you have to trust the divine timing. The other is that, okay, it's all written for you, but you can actually weave new things into it as you will. So this card, the Swan Queen, transformation, intuition, and patience. I think what this is about, and this is a beautiful card to have these swans. Swans are, of course, a twin flame symbol, twin flame, twin soul symbol. But what I'm getting from this is actually that both are true, which kind of makes sense. So what's happening is that you did map it all out ahead of time before you came to this earth, and it is all going to according to plan. But if you look at a map, a map doesn't actually chart your course or your route. It really just charts the blueprint of where you can go and the different ways you can go there. And so what it's saying is that if you're trying to drive from, say, California to Houston, there is a fastest route, but there are also lots of side routes that will still get you there. So it's saying that if you're driving from California to Houston and you want to stop by Mr. Pike's Jumbo Hot Dog Stand or something, some like touristy road trip type thing, and you need to veer off course for that, that's totally fine. Go ahead and veer off course. You are going to come right back onto the path. The other message I'm getting about this is, because I'm sensing a resistance to veering off course, the other message I'm getting about this is that you should follow your whimsical heart's desires, because going off course, in quotes, to this, hot dog stand, it may actually be that you're passing, you're going around like a huge traffic jam or something. And for any of you who have been to Houston, I think we know there are lots of traffic jams there. But yeah, it's really interesting. I actually have not understood this or read this before, but it's very interesting that it's showing that. So you can actually, what it's saying is that you will get to your destination eventually, and you can actually, the routes are mapped out for you, and all of them will lead to the same destination, but you can actually choose different paths on the way there. So I hope that's helpful. Okay, so that's what's going on. That's what this gardening of the union is about. And I've been reading, quite a bit about how the divine feminine and the divine masculine they may actually be going on these like different, you know, what I'll call like hot dog stand routes. And they may be going to different ones where they're not really coming together. So maybe one of them's coming to Houston from California, one of them's coming to Houston from New Orleans, and they're going on these different touristy spots and taking, you know, different courses, but they are both still coming toward that destination, and it's perfectly safe. It's perfectly safe to allow your divine counterpart to go on these adventures. Even though you're not going with them, or even if you're not going with them, we'll say, because maybe you guys are going together as well. But this is perfectly okay. And so I think, you know, this Swan Queen, what I'm getting from that is that you both like understand, you both are in that queen or king energy around the union. And because of that, you're able to let your divine counterpart go off on these little tangents on their way to your full union. All right, so I'm just gonna pull a card for the divine masculine, this feeling that he has right now, and then for the divine feminine. Okay, so for the divine masculine, we have attraction. So how does he feel about this gardening phase? It's funny because he's actually, you know, first of all, he's stopping to smell the roses. But it says you attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. I think what it is that he knows he's moving toward this divine feminine. But he's really taking his sweet time and just enjoying the scenery as he goes. And that is actually making him more attracted to the union as a result. So, you know, for the divine feminines, let your divine masculine go off on these tangents because he's coming back. Like this is renewing him and bringing him back to the union in the physical. You know, of course, the union is still there in the 3D or in the 5D. For the divine feminine, we have the wedding. The situation involves marriage. So this is not necessarily. I don't read this card as necessarily, you know, there's going to be a marriage proposal in the future. What I'm getting from this is that the divine feminine is fully committed to the divine masculine in this, and she really trusts the union because she trusts her own commitment to it. So she's allowing this to play out. She's finally accepted a lot of the 3D confusion and conflict that she sometimes experiences with this union, and she just has full faith in this, and that faith has been hard won. She's been through the long winter where she had to have faith in the seedling, and she didn't feel like she had the support or the proof in the 3D. So she's having that faith, and she's just feeling really committed, and because of that commitment, it's not that she is like, I love that this is happening the way it is, I love the way this is unfolding, but she is allowing it to unfold. She's not resisting it anymore, and she's just seeing what comes up, seeing what comes to her, and being okay either way. She knows what she wants, she believes it's coming to her, she has that faith, but she's just allowing it to unfold, and just whatever comes. And either way, she's okay. She's good. She's fine. She's still committed. She's not looking at the 3D anymore to tell her what's happening because the faith is inside her. So that's what this shows. All right, so we're done with this section, clearing this, and we'll get on to the next. We've cleared the workspace and we're moving on to this last section of this report, April 26th through 28th. So this is toward the end of the week. We have Mars moving into square with Neptune. Square, when the planets move square to each other, it typically can symbolize a conflict of some sort. And so what's happening here is that some of the divine masculines are struggling to trust that intuition and guidance. So this could be divine masculines from the turtle contingent. It could also be divine masculines who have made a previous offer, but it didn't necessarily turn out the way they want, and they're just having like some second thoughts or some like, you know, they're second guessing themselves about this. And so the guidance for both the divine masculine and the divine feminine is that the doubt is short-lived and it can be ignored wholly by both counterparts. And so I talk a little bit about why in the energy report, but for now we are going to just draw some cards on this and see, you know, the goal here is to give you some guidance on, that just popped out. The goal here is to give you some guidance on, well, what's going on, and also what can you do to keep calm and manifest on while this is happening. So let's just get some guidance on this. This is a very good deck, by the way. Soul's Journey. I love this deck. Get my notes set up correctly. Alright, so what does this crisis moment look like? Alright. Yeah, I feel like these two cards are all I'm supposed to be pulling for this. Okay. So the first is change. I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. So the divine masculine is actually feeling this change, and there's still a small resistance to it. So again, this can be second guessing. It could be, you know, like, oh, now we're in a relationship, but I'm questioning whether it's the right thing still. Or, you know, I'm just having these second thoughts about it. Or, you know, now, like, I'm not sure. It could also be like, I know I want to spend time with you, but I'm not sure that I want to be in a relationship with you. So it could be something like that too, where it's like, you know, there's kind of this wavering back to, maybe an old energy that you feel like as partners you've already moved through, but for some reason it's just coming up again. And for this, I mean, you can see that this is a spiral. It's really just, you're going even deeper into that healing. So you're just taking the healing that you've effectively already done around this topic, and you're just going one level deeper on it. So that's what's happening. So nothing to really worry about here. There is this acceptance that, you know, there's this Game of Thrones quote, what may live may never die. I think that's it. Maybe I might have a couple words wrong there, but it's an Iron Island quote, and it's just, the idea is that, you know, you're kind of playing whack-a-mole with some of this healing, in the sense that you feel like you've healed it, and then it just comes up again, and you're just like, okay, like, gotta whack it down again. Every time you whack it down, it takes you into a deeper level of healing. And with that, every time you make a change, and every time there's movement, there's more energies that are gonna come up as you want to move forward. So anytime you want to move forward, you've got to deal with the fears and blocks that have kept you from moving forward in the past. And that's always how it is. Some of those can look the same. We also have peace. I'm a being of love, and I release all negative energy. So again, this is just, I mean, we have this like kind of quick burst of healing to do, and then we have, okay, we're back to calm, we're back to peace. And again, it says I release all negative energy. That's just what I was saying, is that you have to, you know, any movement is going to cause crap and sludge to just come to the surface, and especially around old healing, because for many of us in this divine partnership, or on this divine on this twin soul journey, for many of us, you know, we've done a lot of healing work, and so many of us, we've hit like all the major blocks that we had. But what we're experiencing now is just this like turning of the spiral, kind of click, 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 further down, going a little deeper every time. This turning of the spiral where the old stuff comes back up in a slightly different form, a slightly different thread, and we just have to yank that same thread out. It just looks slightly different. So that's all that's going on here. Let's look at how. So that's what's going on with the Divine Masculine. Let's look at how the Divine Feminine may be tempted to respond. No surprise here. Yeah, this is how the Divine Feminine is tempted to respond. Fear. I realize that I am testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. So this is going to look like a challenge, but don't buy into this, because again, the Divine Masculine is going to clear this on his own. He'll be back to a place of peace shortly. We also have envy. I am the same as everybody, but with different challenges. The thing I got from this was actually not just envy, but also jealousy. So it could be, and the situation that's coming to mind really specifically is these past karmic situations and relationships. It could be that the Divine Masculine has moved forward, he's chosen his path, and there's just this part of him that is still texting her, or that is still unsure of his feelings for her, or that is still codependent on her. There's like these little tiny threads that are just being yanked out almost immediately. Like it's fairly, it's like the block comes up, whack, done, but it can look a little bit different on the surface. So that's what's coming out for that. Okay. Then last bit, this is for the Divine Masculines. Last bit of guidance. How can you clear this for yourself? All right. And we have 2 cards. One is success. I know that there is no greater goal than to love. So this is the shift. This is a shift from those fears of that karmic cycle that the Divine Masculine was stuck in. And it's like, look, you've gotten out of that. So let's say you're in a co-parenting relationship with this karmic, which is a karmic situation. That you're co-parenting with a previous partner, and you had bad patterns with him or her, and there was like a toxicity to that relationship that made it end, but now you still have to see that person because you're co-parenting. This is just showing like, look, you have energetically changed. So she or he may react the same way, but you're different. Like you know how to handle this. You've had that success. You've put your foot down. You've escaped this karmic situation. You're not that person anymore who got into that situation, and now you can deal with this differently. You can come at it from a place of love, and you can be immune to their, the toxicity of that relationship or of that situation. You can be immune to that because you've changed. You are not the person who can be sucked into that again. So even if what's happening, I think, for the Divine Masculine is the same old crap from the past cycle is coming up for them with this karmic situation or karmic relationship, and they have that fear of, am I going to fall into this again? Am I going to get stuck here again? It's almost like somebody who quits smoking and then they walk into a party and there's a ton of people smoking cigars, and they think, man, they're like, okay, am I tempted? Or it's like somebody who had like Facebook addiction, and then they closed it out, they calmed it down, they got off Facebook, and then like this new person they want to date is on Facebook, and so they're like, oh, should I join Facebook again? And there's that temptation to fall back into old patterns. That's not going to happen in this situation because it can't, because the energy of the Divine Masculine has changed irrevocably. So then the last one is denial. I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with the insight of awareness. This just goes along with what I just said. You know, that fear, I think what this is saying is naming the fear is going to help you. Because you can say, oh, like everyone here is smoking cigars. I'm concerned that I might slip off the wagon and like go back to smoking, but I am aware of this, so I'm going to like realizing that awareness is enough. So I'm aware of this, and my energy has permanently and irrevocably shifted from this situation already. So I'm just not aligned to it anymore, and because of that, I'm going to organically take actions that are out of alignment with this cigar smoking crowd. So yeah, insight of awareness. Know that you have changed, Divine Masculines. You cannot get into this situation again, because you cannot attract this situation again, because your energy has changed. So just be aware of that. We're gonna end this reading with the final energies for the week. So again, before I do that, if you want to grab this report for April, or if you want to grab May's report, which will be coming out on May 1st. Make sure you go to cardreadingqueen.com/energies and you can sign up for it. Additionally, if there was any spread in this video or any of my videos that you'd like to get more information on, feel free to go to cardreadingqueen.com/freebies, and we will, you'll be able to sign up for those spreads as well. And so what you'll get is a printable of the spread. If you want this energy report, what you will get is every month I'll send you the new energy report, and these are about 30 pages long. They go pretty deep into the cosmic energies of the month, and they really help explain what those cosmic energies mean for the twin soul journey. So we're going to wrap up with these Archangel Power Tarot cards. Let me move this here. I'll clear this to the side. And let's get a shuffle. So we're getting final energies. As we do that, I hope that this has been really useful to you. Again, one of my philosophies on doing these energy readings is that I use both the cosmic energies, which is the planetary movements. I use both what's going on in the universe, and then I also use intuitive storytelling through tarot. Two different tools that are meant to truly just help people channel. So two different sets of energies. I pair them together to try to effectively double verify what's going on. So a lot of times I'll explain something in the cosmic energies, and then we'll happen to draw cards that just align perfectly to those messages. Sometimes we draw cards that go deeper into those messages as well. So I do really try to use both tools to get the strongest messages and the most messages that we can, and basically be able to provide the all the messages and then the best guidance that I'm able to. Alright, so we're drawing a couple cards for Divine Feminine energy. Final energies for Divine Feminine, and then you're drawing final energies for the Divine Masculine. Okay, so for the Divine Feminine, we have the Three of Gabriel, and this orange color is it's the wand suit, or the fire suit. It says prosperity is arising from wise planning. Time to take the next step. Optimistic plans that turn out as expected. I believe that this is about the efforts of the seedling that have already taken place. This is just saying, look, like it's all coming together. And I think the Divine Feminine is feeling that because she's seeing those seedlings, and those seedlings have really bolstered her faith in this situation and in this union. We also have the Justice card. Fight for justice and equality. Rulings are made in your favor. Don't give up. This to me is just, it's not about any specific legal battle, which sometimes I do read it that way. This is, to me, this is just about balancing the scales. So the Divine Feminine can feel that, especially with these seedlings, she can feel that things are calming down, and she and her Divine Masculine are coming into balance. And by balance, I mean that giving and receiving is there on both sides. The communication is there on both sides. So she's starting to feel that. And so for those who have a Divine Masculine in the turtle contingent, this is really the task to do, is to balance the energies within yourself. And so we talked about that earlier in the reading. Go back and listen to that if needed, but this is just all about talking, balancing those energies within yourself, and then you'll start to see it in that Divine Masculine. We also have the Eight of Michael. And then this suit, these blue cards, are specific to the air or the swords suit in traditional tarot. So this is effectively the Eight of Swords energy. It says you can be free, make a courageous choice to change your situation, not seeing things clearly. I think this is for any Divine Feminines who have that lingering fear. Certainly it's something to clear out for yourself, and again, it's really just for yourself at this point, because your seedlings have sprouted, or they are sprouting, as this turtle contingent kind of catches up to us. This is just saying, break free of those fears, that any lingering fears that you're feeling, that this is not a real move forward, this is not, this is just more of the same of past cycles, this is not a new beginning, I'm not seeing, strong enough changes, I'm not seeing big enough changes. None of that's true. And this is an opportunity to break free of that and to truly anchor into that 5D. Now for the Divine Masculine, we have the Six of Gabriel, so again, that's Six of Wands. Congratulations, you've done a wonderful job. Time to move on to the next project. This is, this, I think, it goes to two things. One, it goes to making this offer to his Divine Feminine and just really balancing the energies there. But then I think it also goes to closing out those karmic cycles, situations, relationships. And so the Divine Masculine is feeling pretty good about himself. Overall, he sees April as a victory. He sees this week as a victory. So he's starting to really see his efforts, and he's kind of, patting himself on the back, congratulating himself. We also have the Eight of Ariel, and this is the Pentacle suit. So the Eight of Pentacles, effectively. It says, take great pride in your excellent work. Practice makes perfect. Consider getting additional education or training. So this goes along with that feeling of victory, but it also is about, look, like, I've done the work, and now I know I can do the work, and now I'm ready to, continue doing the work and taking action. And so this last card, number 16 in the Major Arcana, Change Your Life. This is a Tower energy. So sudden revelation that offers freedom, break free of procrastination, embrace the opportunities that change brings. What's happening is, for the turtle contingent specifically, they may experience some sort of tower moment. And so I talk about this in the report. It really, the change comes in a couple different ways. So it can be the full energy, and this is for those of you who know tarot. And this is all explained in the report. Again, cardreadingqueen.com/energies if you want to follow along. It's all explained in the report. But we have the full energy, we have the Hanged Man energy, and we have the Tower energy. So what this is saying is that if this turtle contingent doesn't move forward, there is going to be something that moves them forward, some sort of karmic situation, or just event in their lives that's going to move them forward. And that's just the universe forcing the energies through, because they've already received the intuition to move forward on their own, and they just haven't. So what's happening here, this is a very positive card, and I did write about this in the energy report as well. Effectively, the Divine Masculine is going to experience this tower moment of sorts, and it is going to move him forward, but it's actually going to happen quickly. So in the past cycles, there's been these tower moments, and they've been very painful for both the Divine Feminine and the Divine Masculine. In this case, what's happening is that the Divine Masculine, again, he's already got the intuition to move forward on this. He just didn't do it. But that intuition was coming to him because his energies had already up-leveled. Like, he had already vibed up. He had already aligned to these actions that he was supposed to take. And so now this tower moment's going to come and force that forward, but he's actually already aligned to the thing that he's being forced forward to. And because of that, this tower moment doesn't feel like a tower moment used to feel in past cycles, because the tower moment in past cycles felt like, oh my goodness, like, the sky is falling on me, and I'm in so much pain, and like I've got this dark night of the soul, and I'm being forced forward, being dragged forward, being shoved forward. It felt more like that, and this is like, okay, this is happening, that's forcing me to do this, but I was gonna do it anyway. So a specific example that's coming up in my life, I'm taking a trip for about a week. And so we normally have either my parents or my husband's parents take care of our dog while we're gone. And so we've just completely forgotten to book this with either of the parents. So we were looking at it and we were like, man, this is, we're going for quite a bit. We don't know if either of these, dog sitters can really help us in this time and at such short notice. And we may have to board our dog for the first time in like 3 or 4 years. And so we were looking at that, and I was like, great, like now I have to find a boarding place, I have to do a play date there, I have to, and like of course my dog's vet records have just come up at the beginning of the month, April 7th. So it's like, of course, I have to also like get my dog to the vet in like the next couple days and get her shots up to date so she can do her play date, so she can get into the boarding, and so that she has a place to stay. And I was, it's one of those things where it's like, like now I have to make room for this vet appointment, which I'm going to do anyway. Like I'm going to do the vet appointment in the next couple weeks anyway, and like I'm already energetically aligned to that vet appointment, but this situation was, is effectively a tower moment in the sense that it would have to force me to do that vet appointment now, like in the next couple days. So that's the reason I share that with you, is because that's what the energy of this tower moment is for those Divine Masculines. It's like that's kind of a hassle, but I was gonna get it done anyway, so not a big deal. Like I'm already energetically aligned to it, and that's what they're feeling right now. So I just wanted to say that and like go deeper into that, because I know some Divine Feminines feel that's very frustrating for them. So great. So these are the final energies for this reading. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I hope it gave you a lot of great guidance for the week. Please join us again on the channel. If you are new to this channel, make sure you subscribe to us at, you can hit the subscribe button on the video, but if you're not watching us on YouTube right now, you can go to cardreadingqueen.com/YouTube, and that will take you directly to my YouTube channel, and then you can subscribe. So thank you so much. Please enjoy your week. Have a beautiful week, and I hope to see you next time on the channel.